Good afternoon, everyone. 70-degree Fahrenheit below normal temperatures coming across the United States this week. Last week, 50-degree Fahrenheit below normal temperatures. The map showing almost every state in the lower 48 below freezing right now. Global warming activists in Colorado, 9 degrees Fahrenheit, protesting global warming. Record snows as well. They had to cancel the event because it got so cold.
The gold standard of honest news reporting, the American media. Look how in-depth this chart is. Very cold. Thanks for the Arctic blast warning. It goes even into deeper coverage. Unseasonably cold. Well, when we show the real numbers, everything is below 0 Fahrenheit temperatures. And when we add in the wind chills, we get into the negative 40 and negative 50 Fahrenheit. Temperatures across Chicago coming next Monday, minus 24 Fahrenheit. That's without wind chill. Worcester in Massachusetts, minus 9 degrees Fahrenheit. These are all-time record cold temperatures. Canadian news services put out, they actually show the temperatures of the provinces and the cities. They also have thermal imaging maps so you know exactly what the wind chill is and how cold it is. With that being said, Canada broke an all-time energy consumption record during this extreme cold bout, eclipsing anything ever used by almost 2%. So much of a draw, they had to pull an extra 1,500 megawatts from Ontario. This is what it's going to look like. The 15th Arctic blast, the 16th record cold from the Midwest through the Great Lakes all the way into the Northeast, followed by another cold bout coming on the 18th. And please remember to subscribe to Adapt 2030. And the oh-so in-depth coverage, just a blue map, very cold. Thanks for warning the people that it's going to be all-time record cold. Arctic air blast, unseasonably cold, 5 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit below normal temperatures. I'm sorry, did you somehow miss that minus 35 to minus 40 sitting just north of the Great Lakes? It's color-coded so you can see it pretty easily. And all that other dark green that's ripping down as well. They did note, however, the average high is 26. So these temperatures are 20 degrees Fahrenheit below normal temperature. But when we look on the actual maps of what's coming, these are Fahrenheit temperatures without wind chill. They're literally looking at 20 degrees Fahrenheit below zero in the middle of December. And you rarely get that even in the coldest bouts in, say, February. With the wind chills, it's looking at minus 50 Fahrenheit. Go to the far left, you look at 47.5 north and 99 west. You'll find that really large pink area in there with no numbering because it would be minus 55 Fahrenheit wind chill factor, hiding the news. Supposedly every square inch of the planet is being measured for temperatures and its all-time record heat, yet in the coldest area on these maps, there's no temperature data. Isn't that convenient? Again, some of the temperature readings that you're seeing these days are 14, 20, 25 degrees below normal, but what's coming up next week is literally 50 degrees Fahrenheit below normal temperatures. So those of you looking for a white Christmas, you're going to have it with snow fog as well from the extreme cold. And this will continue to push south and wrap back in on itself over the next few days. You know, they neglect to tell you the snow totals through as well, over a foot across the Great Lakes area. Chicago, Illinois, running about 20 degrees Fahrenheit below normal right now. But when we look further into the week, on December 19th, it's going to be minus 24 Fahrenheit. If the average temperature during this time of the year is 37, and even if it's 5 degrees at the high temperature, we're still looking at 35 below normal. When it goes down into 24 below zero, that is just dangerous for people. What if the power grid goes down during that time? And I like this AccuWeather forecast going out to Friday. Notice the temperatures, 24 Fahrenheit high, 16 low. And then we take it into professional weather casting with Weather Bell and Joe Bastardi and these guys with Ryan Muet. It's looking at minus 9 Fahrenheit. How can you be off by 25 degrees on your temperature forecast? That is fake news. Fake weather news. If we take that bar chart and flip it into a graph, those temperatures are across at minus 20 Fahrenheit, that really light green and purplish. Extreme cold. And here we are with New York already with the snows, whiteout lake effects, crashes all over the place, Pennsylvania, highways shut down, blizzards across the Dakotas. These charts here are in Celsius, anomalies below normal temperatures. So when we get right back into the heartland of the U.S., up into Alberta again, as that front pulls exceptionally freezing cold temperatures, 13th, 14th, as it just expands on itself. The 15th, it starts to break up, and then on the 16th, it breaks into two through the 18th. Snows on the 21st. For those of you looking for a white Christmas, looks like you're going to have it at least in 25% of the U.S., if not more. Oh, that wasn't inclusive enough for everybody. Oh, my political incorrectness. Snow for everybody! And Merry Christmas, everyone! This is the 22nd December forecast snow total amount. Now I do want to show you the difference between Canadian weather forecasting. You know, they label it as extreme cold warning. Where is that in the U.S. news media except for a bunch of pretty pictures? I like this thermocast as well. It's the radiative temperatures. You can really get a clear gauge of where this extreme cold is, all the way down to minus 40 Celsius, clear up into the minus 20 Celsius areas. And for those of you that want to convert over from Celsius to Fahrenheit, minus 30 C is minus 20 F. Remember, 0 Celsius is 32 Fahrenheit, so then you go from there, subtracting. Now we got this extreme cold weather snap, and then they had 3 electricity records broken in Alberta in 3 different days. The max record was 2% above anything ever used before. So you have to ask yourself, if it's getting this cold already in the beginning of the grand solar minimum, what's it going to be like next year, or the year after, or in 2019 and 20 when we get back into 300-year cold temperature records? Are they even going to be able to have enough power supply for everybody? Because if it's going up 2% per year, by 2019, 2020, they're going to need an additional 6 to 8% on top of these numbers. And as that pushed over its record, they had to draw from Ontario, which had an additional 1,500 megawatt pull on its grid, as the demand was so high to keep homes warm. Now, if one of these grids goes down during such a cold event, you might have to ask yourself, how are you going to survive? And do you have a plan B? Are you ready for the extreme cold in case your electricity goes out? Would you know how to survive for a week in these types of temperatures in your own home without freezing to death? I mean, we look at the Alberta electricity price forecast, up, 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 up. And those of you in Europe who have been asking me, what's happening in Europe next week? Here you go. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. As these changes intensify, our crops are absolutely going to be lost in yield year upon year. This is going to drive food prices higher. You see electrical prices going. Eventually, this is going to switch over into an unsustainable type of price environment where people cannot afford their daily necessities. And when this happens, the civil unrest is going to start. But until that time, everything you buy of food commodities is just going to continue to increase in price. Talk to Bob at Trade Genius. They're trading on the grand solar minimum effects and the crop losses that are starting to be experienced globally on the grains as well as the softs. He'll be happy to talk to you. They see it intensifying. I see it intensifying. You should definitely know what's in the future for you. And please remember to subscribe to Adapt 2030, and I'll keep more information like this coming to you.